Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Tom and welcome back to a brand new video and episode number 33 I believe in total, and this is specifically round 12 of season 2 in my career mode. And as you can see, we're well into the season now, actually well into the second half of the season, and 33 episodes in total, so the series is starting to get on a little bit in terms of longevity, and I don't think we're done yet. I think we are going to do another season after this anyway. So as you can see, we're currently jumping into practice, and first things first, this was one of my best practice sessions of the entire season. I've got to say, the car was working really nicely, and I had a really nice setup on the car, and the R&D was fairly simple to achieve. So this is one of the rare occasions where I actually got purple in every single, or should I say all three R&D challenges that were proposed to us for the race weekend. So a very successful Friday practice session, and as you can see, we only had one green lap, I believe, in the entirety of the tyre wear test. Even that, it was almost flawless if we just had got that lap in the purple zone. But other than that, it was a very good practice session, and we eventually capped it off with the qualifying test, and that was also very successful. And even though we got severely out of shape through the final corner, we capped it off with a solid 50 points, getting purple and everything, and that would swiftly move us on to the story of qualifying, where I was feeling very confident with the pace of the car and hoping to do some serious damage. So without further ado, let's jump right into the qualifying report. So moving into qualifying on the Saturday afternoon, and the sun was out and things were looking promising, and like I said in practice, I was hoping to do some damage here today because the pace of the car was feeling very solid, and I felt like I could actually finally challenge in a qualifying session, which hasn't been my strong point. I've got to say, qualifying has been very poor for me in not just this season, but just career mode as a whole. I can't seem to qualify as well as I race, and the AI seems to have a bit more of a cutting edge about them, especially during qualifying. So as you can see, we're doing Q1 and we actually go out on the soft tyre, and we get through actually quite comfortably on the yellow wall soft tyre, getting into Q2 quite comfortably. But I decided to use that tyre because I wanted to get that one out of the way and save my super soft, because I wanted to start the race on this tyre. So as you can see now in Q2 on the super soft tyre, going through the final couple of corners, I wasn't particularly pushing hard. I'm actually going to be around 7/10 off the pace when the lap ends, but it's going to be good enough for, I believe, P4. And then obviously that's not the end of the session, so we might drop a few positions from now until then, but we are comfortably through into Q3 once again, and the super soft tyre working quite nicely for us. And like I said, I wasn't particularly pushing that hard because I was trying to keep some pace in reserve for now the big Q3 session, where I really wanted to make a statement of intent and really show off the pace that I found over the weekend. So as you can see, we're going to begin a lap here. We're going to ride on board for the entirety of it, swinging it now into turn 1 as wide as you can, using as much curb on entry, as much on the left hand side and also on the apex itself, trying to use as much of the track as possible, slowing it all down for turn 2 now, third gear corner, kissing the apex. Crucial now, the traction here, you've got to be very precise through turn 4, trying to go into the power of the back straight here, very important, and we managed to do that quite beautifully. We're almost a 10th and a half up in the first sector, so now preparing ourselves, going through turn 5, the swooping left-hander into the hairpin of turn 6, second gear corner, and want to try and kiss the apex there, just about get it right, and then get on the power. Crucial once again, traction zone, got to be very precise, and it's like I can thread a needle through a loophole in terms of trying to get the traction down through this corner, through the flat out turn 8 into turn 9, I believe. Now the third gear through this corner as we now prepare ourselves for the swooping right-hander of turn 10 in 5th gear, short shift down to turn 6 a little bit, just trying to get the power down, and we're now 3 times down in the middle sector, so we swing it now into the Mercedes grandstand and the stadium complex as we now swoop it now, this beautiful cambered left-hander here, 180-degree corner, trying to carry as much speed into the corner as possible through this little flip-flop chicane, and now into the final 2 corners now in front of the main grandstand here. We're a little bit wide, getting a little bit out of shape here, trying to get the power down as much as we can, running it as much as we can to the white line and across the line, and it's going to be good enough for, I believe, P3. So a very good qualifying session there, and a very good lap in Q3. I think the middle sector let me down a little bit, but other than that, it was a very good lap and a very successful session, and a lap that I was mighty proud of. But anyway, that was the story of qualifying, and a very good lap there. As you see, we're only coming third place to Kimi and also Max Verstappen there, putting on a great performance, only 11 thousandths off of the Iceman. But nevertheless, that was qualifying, and we're now going to move into the race. Okay, so here we are then for the German Grand Prix. P3 on the grid after a pretty decent qualifying session. You know, we're never going to really beat Kimi because, like I said, he's still in incredible form, and qualifying isn't really my strong suit. I can't remember the last time I got pole position, but P3 is the best qualifying I've had in quite some time. And looking at the race strategy for today, as you can see, we're going to try and go for the 2-stop strategy and also underfueling the car quite severely to try and make this strategy happen. I think I can pull this one out of the bag because I do think I can drive quite smoothly around this circuit. So I'm going to give it a crack and see how far I can go. The key here is to drag out this first stint as long as I can, and that'll make the other 2 stints a lot more easier. But nevertheless, hopefully we can have a pretty good German Grand Prix. Now I do want to try and get a good result here, and also try and mainly finish out of Raikkonen, but also just try and continue the good form from the last race in Hungary. So without further ado, let's jump right into the race. Right, here we go then. The 5 red lights are coming on for round 12 of the season, and it's going to be lights out and away we go offline, and a pretty good response time actually from me there off the lights, and actually get a good start. Verstappen's already jumped Raikkonen, and also Ricciardo's trying to get ahead of me, squeezing me off the track a little bit, losing the back end, almost going to Ricciardo. Yellow flags behind, but Verstappen's into lead of the German Grand Prix. We now make our way into turn 2 for the first time. I'm going to try and cut back underneath these two. A little bit of contact there. We're going to go on the outside of both of them into the lead of the race here at Germany, and what a fantastic double little switchback. A little bit of contact between Kimi and Verstappen, allowing that move to happen, but we're now into the lead of this race, and now it's time for us to try and put out a gap and try and pull away from our teammate. So I'll try to get the gap out to a second, but Kimi's just a little bit too fast at the moment, and he's going to have DRS for the first time in this race, and the question is, will he get close enough at the first time of asking? I don't think he will, and so far he's going to have to settle for P2 for a while. However, I get my braking all out of shape there to the hairpin. Kimi going to have a sniff up the inside. He is, but I'm going to pick up the traction, and we're going to stay ahead for now. But Kimi, once again, looking very dangerous and very racy so far in this German Grand Prix. Kimi's really dropped off in terms of pace, and I think he may have a problem because he's lost over a second this lap, and he lost over a second in the last lap. So maybe Kimi has some sort of issue with his car. Jeff hasn't said anything over the radio, but Kimi clearly slowing and dropping pace. But this was our scheduled pit stop lap, but we are going to go one more at least. Kimi may pit out because of the gap that we got. He's not a threat in terms of the undercut, so as long as we just keep this pace going and we keep his tyres in for a little bit longer, then we're doing good for a race strategy. Okay, so here we go. We're going to get ready for our first stop of the race. We've dragged out these mediums long enough, or sorry, these super softs, should I say. And we are going to come in for mediums. I'm going to switch my strategy, which I originally preset, which was for softs. I'm going to come in for mediums instead because I feel like I've got enough of a cushion to go on a bit of a slower tire and try and drag it out. Also, Lewis Hamilton coming in behind us, and he's on softs, so we're neutralising the threat of Lewis Hamilton, even though he started on a much more raceable tyre. And also, Kimi's pitting behind us, so we're going to rejoin. I don't think it's going to be in the race lead. We're going to be just behind this little pack of cars, which includes Nico Rosberg on a soft tyre, but it's P4 for us on mediums. It's in pretty clean air. We've got 3 cars who are due to pit very soon, so it looks like things are looking quite nicely for us, and we just got to try and set into a rhythm on these white wall tyres. Okay, so Rosberg's just pit, and now we're behind Magnussen and Sergio Perez. I believe Perez is on mediums, Magnussen on softs, and now Magnussen's going to open up DRS on Perez and try and get a pass done on the Mexican. We've also got DRS, but we haven't got major straight line speed around here. We're just going to watch this battle unfold and try and pick up the scrap. So just going to set ourselves up for a nice little switch back here at the hairpin, getting past Perez nice and early there, and then getting some good traction on these fresh tyres. And we're side by side with Sergio. Yes, we are. There he is. He's right there. Magnussen taking the lead of the German Grand Prix. We're going to make the move on Perez and hold on to P2 into the braking zone. And we're now behind Kevin Magnussen, who I think I want to try and make a pop now out of this corner here into the stadium section. If we can get close enough, can we pick up some slipstream? We're going to have a look, but we think better of it, and we'll tuck him behind as he goes very slowly through the section, just bumping the back of him ever so slightly with the purple middle sector. And I think K-Mag, considering he's on soft tyres, my guess is he'll probably box at the end of this lap. So we're just going to wait for a second here, wait for the opportunity. Yeah, he's going reasonably slow, and yeah, he's actually going to start for one more. So the soft tyres are working quite nicely for the Haas car there. So Magnussen really making those tyres work. We need to get past him soon though, because we are losing a bit of time to the cars behind, and now DRS becomes available. We're going to cut back underneath him here and try and make him move up the inside. He will have DRS in the next section, I believe, but we're just going to make sure that he doesn't get much of a run on us as we get a good inside run through there. Now get the power down, closing the door on Magnussen through there, but we lose the back end ever so slightly, which is actually going to put us on the back foot now going down this back straight. And here comes Magnussen, and keep an eye out for Sergio Perez, who's going to come flying in that full scene. There he goes up the inside. Can he make the move? I'm going to go nice and deep on the brakes into the hairpin here, run it nice and deep, try and run a nice late apex, pick up the traction on these fresh tyres and try and outpower the other Ferrari powered car of Kevin Magnussen. Can we get our nose in front before the fast right hander? Not quite. We're going to have to stick behind for a little while, and now we get the front end, the back end ahead of Magnussen's front end, and there we go, and now back up into the lead and into some clean air. So a little bit of a sit rep once again. Ricciardo and Kimi have pit for mediums, and I believe they're going to the end, and they've actually got some pretty good pace on those tyres, and I believe, it's hard to tell the gap because I don't know how long a pit stop takes, but Ricciardo could be a threat for the undercut if I don't come in soon. I've cranked up to rich mix and I just set my personal best, dipping into the 16s for the first time this race. But the tyres are holding up quite nicely. I just need 1 or 2 more laps on these tyres, and around lap 24 I can then pit for soft tyres. So let's see how this pans out. Okay, so I'm going to come in for my final stop of the race here in the German Grand Prix, coming in for a set of soft tyres, making sure that we keep it out of the gravel, nice and easy into the pit lane, no need to speed. I think we've got the gap to Ricciardo. I can't tell, 18 seconds seems like a funny gap to judge, but I don't think Ricciardo could have gained possibly that much on me, so I'm going to guess the gap's enough. A 1.9 pit stop, absolutely fantastic there. And now it's a question of where is Ricciardo on the track. I think we've got the gap. That's him crossing the finish line right now, I want to guess. So here we go, on the exit now of the pit lane. We've got cars behind us. Who is it? And no, it's not Ricciardo, it's Verline and Stroll. So we've got the gap, and we're quite comfortably back out in the lead of the race. Well, I mean, I say quite comfortably. I mean, Stroll's making this a bit of a problem, and I've only just realised now Ricciardo's behind me, so he's come out of nowhere, but Stroll with the Williams just flying past me even though there's a lap car, and I think he's going to make this really awkward for me once the blue flags do get to him and he realises that he's got to get out of the way. So Stroll in last place, obviously having some problems this race, but I need the blue flags to sort of tell him to get out of the way because I got Ricciardo up my chuff. So Stroll, if you don't mind, please mate, just okay, going a bit too slow through there, I don't really like that. It's just I'm trying to run away through. There's no room through. Okay, there we go. We got past him. But now Ricciardo is literally licking my lights. So let's try and get a gap out. But I don't think I'm going to shake him off DRS because there's not enough corners for me to really get a gap out. So I think Ricciardo might have a bit of a dip in the DRS in this next 2 sections. So it's crucial that I get this right. And I've had a bit of a pole on through there, to be fair. Let's just see if we can try and get the gap out to Ricciardo. He's going to have a little bit of DRS now. And now it's a question of picking up some traction through here and being as fast as I can down the back straight, trying to get the power as soon as I can. Almost flat out, just not quite there, running a little bit too wide. I think Ricciardo might actually have a sniff here. Yeah, it's actually much faster than what I thought on a straight line, so the Red Bull clearly upgrading the engine, but here goes Ricciardo. I'm squeezing him to the inside. I want to go for try and go nice and deep on the brakes, around the outside. Turn the wheel nice and early, switch back on Daniel. Pick up the traction, can we get it? It's a beautiful switchback. But look at that Red Bull, Jesus, in a straight line, that is fast. Ricciardo making the move. We're going to try and go for the Wally Fox lunge up the inside. I'm going to stick my nose in. Oh, locking up the left front. Ricciardo, though, holds on. Luckily, I have some rich mix to burn off in this final stint, so I'm going to wait for the moment, and then I'm going to unleash it and try and get past him again. Okay, that was a pretty nice run through turn 1. This time, we will have DRS and Ricciardo, and we can return the favour through this straight, even though I get a bit of a shaky exit through there. We are in rich mix now, so the straight line speed should be pretty significant. And here we go. We open up the rear flap. Ricciardo so far, pretty good straight line speed actually. I'm quite impressed with the Red Bull. We're just going to peel to the inside. This should be a fairly simple move on the brakes. It's going to ride nice and tight to the apex, make sure Ricciardo doesn't make a move. And then is he going to try to go for the switchback? Not quite. And there we go. We're back up into the lead of the race. So that is us now back up into the position that we've been dominating this Grand Prix so far. But Ricciardo's going to try another pop again, is he? No, he's not. Okay, he thinks better of it, but pretty fast that Red Bull on a straight line. I've got to say, I'm really impressed. So obviously Renault and Takakyo are working together to try and improve that engine, but Ricciardo fancying a chance of a race win even though he's on slower tyres. Just picking up a little bit of a poor exit through there. I just wonder if Ricciardo's going to actually be close enough, and I think he might be, you know. Is he going to go to the inside? He thinks about it, but he decides to stick behind me for now. But I'm just going to cover the inside. Ricciardo just not letting this one go. And I'm actually quite impressed at how racy he's been on that tyre. I don't really find the threat from him, but he's just doing a great job of keeping it in there and actually giving me a challenge to the flag. I don't think he's going to go up the inside here, so I think we're quite safe in that regard. But yeah, I'm in rich mix, so if he gets close enough, I've got nothing left in a straight line. As you can see, I'm in rich then. I've still got fuel, probably until the end of the race. So I think Ricciardo's going to struggle, but I can't, you know, allow myself to get too in trouble here. We've got a lap car coming up, so I've got to be careful with Fernando there. Oh, bit of a shaky rear end again. I mean, I'm not even doing bad first sectors because, I mean, I've got the fast lap of the race. I'm only a 10th off my best. And now here comes Ricciardo, and this time he is close enough. And oh my god, I've no response to this. I'm going to try and get him on the brakes. Ricciardo braking super late. We've got Alonso as a back marker making things awkward for us. I think I probably could have got the inside there, but Alonso parking in a very strange part of the track here, and Ricciardo retakes the lead. I think I'm going to try and get him back here if I can. Get a pick up slipstream and then pull to the inside. Can I get him on the brakes? Oh, I've completely overshot that. I've got that all wrong under braking. Oh my days, the back end snapping at me. Oh no, lost an end plate. That's severe actually. That could actually affect me quite badly because that's orange damage. That could be quite a problem. I'm going to try and keep it up, but that's a silly mistake to make. Okay, I think this is going to be my last chance to get past Ricciardo because I'm struggling with this front wing. If I don't get him now, I'm in trouble because my front wing is damaging me severely. So here we go. We're going to pull to the inside, try and make this move nice and safe. Going to squeeze Ricciardo out a little bit. He goes quite late on the brakes. Try and shut the door on him, and now it's a question of just holding station and trying to keep him behind us because this damage is actually affecting me quite severely through some corners. So normally I'd probably come in for a front wing change, but because there's only a few laps left, I'm going to have to try and just be strong and try and hold this one out. But something that's gone from such a simple race, it's gone into a bit of a tricky affair. As you can see, I'm just understeering through there, struggling for the front end grip, but let's just try and keep it ahead of Daniel for the last few laps. Okay, Ricciardo's going to open up DRS. Is he going to go for the move? Let's see. I'm going to squeeze him a little bit to the inside. I'm going to leave him the room still. I'm going to wait for him. I'm going to go nice and deep on the brakes. I need to hold this. In the low speed, I'm okay. The front wing doesn't affect me too much. It's in the high speed, and we just hold around the outside. Ricciardo there banged my side pod. I think it looked like he hit me. Pretty tricky one to call from my POV, but we stay ahead once again for a little while. We've got a lap and a half to go. Things get a little bit tense here at Hockenheim, but I think we should be okay to pull it through. But I'm a little bit concerned about Hamilton, who's now right behind Ricciardo on soft tyres. Oh no, Nasser's going to get out of the way in a really awkward place. I needed to cut that corner. Nasser was getting out of the way in a really stupid place, right on the apex. I had to cut that corner. I'm very sorry, but there was no way Nasser was going to park on the apex and ruin this race for me. So anyway, trying to focus. It's the last lap of the race. We think because of Nasser, we do have a cushion over Ricciardo. Admittedly, I know it's a corner cut, but Ricciardo's 6 tenths of drift. Is he going to try and go for one? He's a little bit far back this time. I think we might have it. I don't think we need to go defensive. I think we're going to have him. So now it's a question of just nursing the car home, and we'll be okay for yet another race win and our second one on the spin here. Oh no, Ricciardo's actually going for it. I've just checked my fuel because I've realised I'm bang on the limit for fuel, and Ricciardo's just snatched it from me right at the death. Okay, can I try and get Ricciardo back here? I need to get him back if possible. Come on, come on, come on. Ricciardo's taking it. I'm going to try and get really close to him. Nope. No, Ricciardo snatched it. I've just completely lost it. And I'm out of fuel. I'm out of fuel. No. No, I swear. I'm plus 4. How's that happened? I was plus 004. How's that happened? I mean, I was completely unresponsible because I checked my fuel right on the last lap and I was bang on 0 flat. I was bang on margin for fuel. And then I knocked it down to standard and I was still fine. I was 0.04 over the line. Yeah, I've run out. So, wow. Luckily, Kimi didn't beat us. But, I should have won that race. That's incredibly disappointing. So, because I was so pissed off in the moment, I completely missed the fact that Lewis Hamilton actually had a penalty that race. And therefore, we got 3rd place on the podium. I was so just frustrated with the stupid mistake I made that I wasn't even looking at my screen, that I completely forgot. And I just didn't even bother looking at the results, and Lewis Hamilton actually had a penalty, it turns out, so I completely missed everything. But nevertheless, as you can see, a 3rd place there with Kimi in 5th and Ricciardo in 1st makes for great it makes the championship a bit more exciting. Obviously Ricciardo's pulling away from us, but crucially we are catching Kimi Räikkönen, and as you can see, for the drivers and constructors it means good things for us, especially in the drivers championship, as we close the gap to 33 points. And overall, that was the German Grand Prix, guys, and if you did enjoy it, then a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. And also, if you could subscribe to my channel for content like this and other sort of videos, and new ones coming very soon, then that'd be greatly appreciated. But hopefully you guys did enjoy the video, and I thank you for watching. But nevertheless, I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.